Hello guys, welcome to this new video. Today we're going to be talking about champagne because it's festive season. Christmas and New Year's Eve is coming. So I thought what's better topic to be talking about than champagne. Also, I'm sorry about my face and voice. I've been sick all week. So I'm sorry if my voice and my pronunciation is a bit off. So this video is going to be a basic guide on champagne. It's everything you need to know if you don't know anything about champagne. So let's start with what is champagne. Champagne is a white or rosé sparkling wine, meaning a wine with bubbles, and it is produced exclusively in the region of Champagne in France. So all champagnes are sparkling wines, but not all sparkling wines are champagne. For instance, in Spain you have cava, in Italy you have prosecco, in Germany you have sect. So these are all sparkling wines, but they are not all champagne. So only wines made in Champagne following very strict rules have the right to use the name champagne. So now the history of Champagne. The region of Champagne has been making wine since the 3rd century during Roman times. For many centuries, the region mainly made red wine, often light and acidic. At the end of the 17th century, Champagne winemakers began producing white wine from black grapes. Around the same time, a Benedictine monk called Dom Perignon played a key role. Contrary to popular legend, he did not invent champagne, but he greatly improved its quality. He improved the quality of the wine by blending different grapes from different vineyards together and by improving consistency and balance. The sparkling wine quickly became popular at the French royal courts and spread across Europe, but it remained a luxury product that was reserved for the elites. It is only after World War II that champagne became more accessible and became a symbol of celebration worldwide. Now let's talk about how champagne is made. Now what makes champagne truly unique is its production methods, known as the traditional method or the champagne methods. So to create bubbles, the wine has to ferment twice. The first time inside tanks or barrels, and the second time inside the bottles. The second fermentation produces carbon dioxide, which is trapped inside the bottle and creates the bubbles. This whole process requires time, precision skills, which is why champagne is generally more expensive than other sparkling wines. Champagne is a very defined and protected region, defined by the AOC, which is Appellation d'origine contrôlée. So only sparkling wines made in this region can be called champagne. To make the wine, the grapes are pressed gently in several stages, and after 4 hours, we have two different juices. The first one is the cuvée. It is very clear and high in sugar, and the second one is the Thai. It is darker and lower quality. After resting to remove particles, the wines are blended. Blending allows champagne houses to have a consistent taste year after year using reserve wines. So basically, when you buy any other wine, the taste might change year after year, depending on the climate and a lot of different factors. But champagne houses aim to keep the same taste year after year. So for that, they will use those reserve wines, which are wines from previous year that they will blend together to create the same taste year after year. And if the harvest that year is exceptional, the cellar master might choose not to blend the wine and keep it that way, and the wine produced will then become a vintage champagne. There are also aging requirements, of course. By law, champagne must age in the cellar at least 15 months for non-vintage champagne and at least 3 years for vintage champagne. So now let's talk about the different styles of champagne. Champagnes are classified according to the amount of sugar added after disgorgements. So we have extra brut, very dry, almost no sugar, then brut, dry in the most common style, extra dry, slightly sweeter, sec, and then demi-sec, noticeably sweet, often served with desserts. Today, champagne vineyards are spread across 321 villages, and each village corresponds to a cru, which defines the quality of the grapes. Quality depends on soil composition, slope and exposure, and climates. Most vineyards grow on chalky limestone soils, which are ideal for drainage and freshness. Now let's talk about harvesting. Harvesting starts in late September or early October and lasts about 3 to 4 weeks. All grapes are handpicked, machines are strictly forbidden. So there are different vineyard areas. Champagne is divided into different zones. Montagne de Reims, between Reims and Épernay, mainly Pinot Noir. Then Côte des Blancs, south of Épernay, almost exclusively Chardonnay. Then Vallée de la Marne, dominated by Pinot Meunier. And finally, Côte des Bars, near Troyes, mostly Pinot Noir. There are also smaller areas, including the Côte de Sézanne and vineyards near Vitry-le-François. I also wanted to explain the difference between Grand Cru, Premier Cru, and the other cru in Champagne. So in Champagne, cru, as I said, refers to a specific village, not a vineyards, unlike Burgundy. Each of the 321 villages are classified according to the quality of their grapes. So first, the Grand Cru. 17 villages are classified as Grand Cru. They represent the highest quality terroir. Historically, they are rated 100% on the quality scale. They have excellent exposure, ideal chalky soils, grapes with great concentration and aging potential. On a label, if you see Grand Cru, it means that 100% of the grapes come from Grand Cru villages. And we have Premier Cru. 44 villages are classified as Premier Cru. Their historically rates between 90 and 99%. They have very high quality, just slightly below Grand Cru. They have often excellent value for money, and they are used extensively by top champagne houses. On the label, if you see Premier Cru, it means that all the grapes come from Premier Cru villages. And finally, we have all the other cru. So this is the remaining 260 villages. They historically rate between 80 and 89%. They are often simply labeled champagne with no cru mention. This does not mean poor quality. Many excellent champagnes come from these villages, and large houses blend grapes from multiple crus to achieve consistency. So why does this qualification exist? This system comes from the Échelle des Crus created in the early 20th century. Originally, it was used to set grape prices, reflect vineyard quality, and regulate relationships between growers and champagne houses. And although the pricing system is no longer used, the Grand Cru and Premier Cru labels are still powerful quality indicators. So what do we need to remember? Unlike Burgundy, a Grand Cru Champagne does not mean one specific vineyard. It means that all grapes come from Grand Cru villages. Also, a champagne can only claim one level. We cannot mix Grand Cru and Premier Cru if the label states otherwise. There are three main grape varieties used to make champagne. The first one is Pinot Noir for its structure and power, Pinot Meunier for its fruitiness and roughness, and Chardonnay for its elegance, freshness, and aging potential. Now let's talk about how to serve champagne properly. Champagne is usually served in a flute because a wide coupe lets aromas and bubbles escape too quickly, and the flute preserves bubbles and aromas longer. Champagne should be served between 6 and 8 degrees. To open a bottle properly, you need to hold the cork firmly, turn the bottle, not the cork, in order to avoid accidents. And then to serve the champagne, you need to pour a small amount into each glass first, and then fill the glasses to about 2/3 full. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about is the sizes of the bottles, because champagne comes in many sizes and each size has a specific name. Now, some of those names are weird, so I'm going to try my best to pronounce them correctly. First one is the standard, it's 750 millimeters. Then we have the Magnum, which is 1.5 liter, and it is often considered ideal for aging. Now, onto the weirder names, we have Jeroboam, 3 liters, Rehoboam, 4.5 liters, Methuselah, 6 liters, Salmanazar, 9 liters, Balthazar, 12 liters, and Nebuchadnezzar, 15 liters. Those larger bottles age more slowly and they are often used for special occasions. So that's all you need to know about the basics of champagne. I hope you enjoyed that little introduction about that wine. Thank you again for watching. I hope you learned a thing or two, and I'll see you next week for a new video.